Time for the start of our Division I second semifinal. You just witnessed the first one moments ago, and now we'll go to the second semifinal. Winner of this will match up in the Division I championship game. Be tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. This one between Emmanuel Christian out of Cheltenham, Maryland, and Veritas Collegiate out of Chesapeake, Virginia. Veritas will control first here in those white uniforms, going right to left. Emmanuel will be in the red uniforms, going left to right. We'll give you the starters here in just a second. We have a whistle and a foul here quickly on Charlie Chapman. That will be his first and team first. For Veritas, it's Sidney Townsend, Anthony Chenault, Charlie Chapman, Tyler Murray, and Cameron Kearney. For Emmanuel, it's Abdusam, Devin Ellerby, Bryson Kittrell, Robert Bird, and Ashen Andrews.
Spartans came out in a 2-3 zone. Real easy. Veritas came out in 2-3 zone, got a quick, easy steal. Guy went in, made that layup very hard, and got bailed out on a foul. Veritas coach very upset with that play for some reason this early on.
And that one hit every part of the rim and didn't go in. And it will be Veritas basketball here, trailing 1-0. Back to that 2-3 zone. On the baseline, Kearney. Only swing it back out. And reset out front. 3 ball out top is off the mark from Charlie Chapman, and back up with it comes Emmanuel. Kittrell back to the middle of the floor to Sam. Kittrell, a deep 3 out top. That won't go. Rebound kicks back out. Veritas with it. Loose ball and finally picked up. Off to Kearney.
Veritas came out in a 1-3-1 zone that time. Good defensive play. Kicked it out, turnover on the other end of the floor.
So travel will give it back to Emmanuel as the Warriors will walk it up here. Now Veritas back to man-to-man, and an extended man-to-man as well, all the way out to half court. And there's a quick steal down the lane and an easy 2 for Charlie Chapman.
Kind of jumped out there on that screen and caught him off guard. Easy bucket for Veritas that time.
Sam up top, handed off to Ellerby. Back to Sam again. Now 3 ball in the corner. That's off the mark from Bird, and it will carry out of bounds and will be Veritas basketball.
One thing we noticed, John, last game, shooting has just kind of become a lost art, especially the mid-range. I don't know what the shooting percentage was for the last game, but it was not good. But that did not prevent the kids from still trying to shoot them, you know.
Yeah, everybody wants a 3 or a dunk. It's hard to find people to make 15-foot jumpers anymore. That deflects out of bounds, and it will stay with Veritas. At least I think it will, yeah. So Townsend will play it in. Corner. Skip pass across from Townsend. On top, Chapman had that knocked away.
Nice pass.
And out on the break. The layup from Sam is no good, but a whistle and another foul. And if that's on Chapman, he'll have 2.
Emmanuel very aggressive in that 2-3 zone. A lot of quickness up top for those guards. And that is giving Veritas quite a hard time getting any type of offensive rhythm going here early on.
So Abdusam to the free throw line, the 6'8" senior, hits the first. And he'll make both. He's back up with it into the front court. Comes Chenault, trying to get it underneath. Picked up, missing that is Kearney, and back the other way comes Emmanuel down the lane. That's a pretty move all the way to the hoop, and laying it in is Sean Andrews.
That was a nice left hand, but that was way too easy of a shot. Veritas in a 4-out, 1-in set.
And another turnover. Back up with it on the break. Layup hit the bottom of the backboard from Ellerby. Now back the other way. Chenault off the glass. That wouldn't go. Tipped out of bounds, and this should be Emmanuel basketball, I think. And it will be.
Got hammered by his own man going in on there. Veritas I think they're having a real hard time trying to figure out what to run against this extended 2-3 zone. Now they're going to a little zone press.
And that got taken away. Chenault with it. Goes behind the back a couple of times. Tried to do a circus shot inside. That was knocked away, and now tracked down in the corner, and we have a double dribble on the far side. Now 3 ball on the wing. That's short out of the hands of Tyler Murray. It comes down the lane. No. Rebound tipped out. Now collected. Back the other way comes Townsend. Skip pass across. 3 ball short. And Emmanuel will bring it up again. One pass along the baseline. Abdul Sam will lay it in and get the foul.
Nice athletic move there by him to stay on his feet and still hit the shot. Veritas trying a little trap. It's not been very effective so far. A lot of missed threes. If I am Veritas, I'm actually happy I'm only down by 5 at this at this point.
Well, Abdul Sam has already done a decent share of damage here as he makes another free throw. He has 6 of the first 8 Emmanuel points. Back to that 2-3 zone, which can be very effective if you run it right.
In our coaches clinic today, we actually talked about the 2-3 zone and why more people don't run it these days. Yeah. You know, and so I'm happy to see these guys coming out really making it look good.
Well, I mean, Jim Boeheim at Syracuse made a living out of that. And we have a whistle and a blocking foul. That's an and 1.
I think he moved over to him after he'd already gone up there a little bit.
So Kearney will pick up his first, team 4th. And Sean Andrews to the line. And the free throw is good. I actually really like zone defense because if it's taught well at this level particularly,
definitely,
it's very effective. Down the lane, that won't go, and now picked back up. 3 ball out front, that's no good. And Veritas is really struggling from the field, and for some reason Abdul Sam just didn't lay the ball in.
I don't know why. The hoop. Unless he just wanted to get anybody else involved, but you know, now Veritas has gone with a 5-out. Nice push in the back he got away with.
Whistle and a foul on Bird underneath.
Well, we listed today in the coaches clinic, we listed all the positives of playing a 2-3 or any type of zone for that matter. Talked about the various kinds, and the positives far outweigh the negatives, and the coaches agreed. But especially if you're going to use that to start teaching man, principles of man. But it's certainly working well for Emmanuel right now. Veritas, I think this is their first shot in the paint, or maybe the second. There hasn't
been more than a couple for sure. As Kearney hits the first. Well, particularly if you have length, playing 2-3 can wreak havoc on an offense.
Definitely. And as we talked about before, the lost art of the jump shot added to that, why aren't more people not playing it? You know?
So a couple of made free throws makes it 13-4. Emmanuel working up against some pressure here. And we'll reset. 3 ball out front, that's no good.
Veritas has numbers here.
And another turnover, or yep, it will be a turnover because it goes off of Chapman and out of play. So into the lineup for Emmanuel comes Jason Miller. Again, still some full court pressure here. Not really heavy pressure until half court, but just try to get them into a corner. But as you've said, it hasn't been very effective so far. That jumper off the mark.
Yeah, I'd like to see them go more of a straight half-court normal defense, either a zone or man. The trap is just make it very easy for them to get easy buckets on the other side.
Corin Jones missed the runner. Back to the way, down the lane. That's thrown out of bounds. Down to 1:35 to go in the opening quarter. A 13-4 lead for Emmanuel. Knocked away and now collected underneath by Sam.
Another turnover.
And there's a 2-on-1 break. Sam down the lane. That probably should have been a travel. And then did they get that
got him on the arm, I think, maybe, possibly.
And it certainly looked there was a good 3 steps, if not more, getting in there. As Abdusam picks up his first, team second.
Quarter went by pretty fast. Only 6 fouls called the whole quarter, and a lot of missed jump shots from both teams.
Well, Veritas at the moment is 0 for 6 from 3-point range, and most of those haven't really been close.
No, not even close. And so I'd like to see them run something else, get something going to the basket, get cutters in that zone. They're back in the full court pressure again. It's not been very effective.
Good pass underneath. That's a nice find from Abdusam to Jason Miller.
Way too easy. Way too easy.
And on the baseline, that runner goes around and out for Murray, and back to the way comes Emmanuel on the run. On the lane, off into the baseline, 15-footer. That's good.
Nice shot. He didn't settle for the 3. He went, for the good 15-footer we talked about earlier. And
so Kittrell with the bucket on one end, 3 on the other, goes in and out. That's the closest Veritas has been off that shot from Murray. And back the other way, down the lane. That should be a travel, and is.
One too many steps.
Emmanuel wanted a foul, but that was steps before that foul for sure.
Definitely.
Down to 15 seconds to go in quarter 1. Kearney out front.
You see it wide open in the middle of the floor right now. No cutters.
Nobody
Everybody's standing around the perimeter.
Sam ahead on the break, and the layup from
at the buzzer.
Bryson Kittrell at the buzzer, and that was a quarter that was dominated by Emmanuel. 19-6 they lead. Veritas will head to quarter 2 in a moment. You're watching the NACA. start of the quarter. Shot missed on the inside and then gets away from Aiden Jasinkowitz, and back the other way comes Veritas down the lane. That should be a charge.
And it was. Yeah, good call. He was there in plenty of time. But I like the fact that Veritas took the ball to the basket that particular trip down.
Sidney Townsend picks up his second foul, and if I have it right, that's team fifth. As up it comes far side to Sam. Swings it over. That's a dangerous pass. Almost turned over, and I think Emmanuel will get it back. Again, underneath us here on the overhang, it can be kind of difficult at times to see that, but cross-court passes are never really what you want to start getting into. 3 ball on the wing. That's good. Triple once again from Miller. Jason knocked a couple down last night and hits another one here. 22-6. And that's deflected out of bounds. We'll stay with Veritas.
Believe it or not, we had a young man from Veritas won the 3-point shooting contest Tuesday night. Of course, there wasn't no defense out here on him, but so I'm surprised they're shooting as poorly as what they are tonight.
I like this too, by the way, putting Abdou Sam all the way up at the top of the defense, because that really causes problems.
He is very long and very athletic. We saw in the game earlier, they went that way with Wade Christian, did the same thing, brought their big man up in a 1-2-2 zone, made it very difficult with them long arms to get by.
And there's a nice take to the rim by Kearney, and Cameron will lay it in, particularly when you've got some other size that you can go to. Down the lane, that's a little bit wild and left away, and now 3-on-1 fast break for Veritas. Down the lane, layup, good on the foul.
Well, it went in, but you had a 3-on-1 there, and he took it in 1-on-1. But yeah, you're right. Emmanuel definitely has some other size with them besides, the big kid. But he's got some really long arms, really big length. Number 25 has shown me some good moves inside. He hasn't been able to convert on, but he seems like he knows what he's going to do when he gets the basketball. 21 right in front of us here. He's a good-sized young man, too.
Yep. So free throw off the mark from Chapman. Had the opportunity for a 3-point play. Could not complete it, though.
He was so wide open, I don't know.
That's yeah. Just kind of finished it off. I think he was kind of surprised. 24-10. 6:03 to go in the half. On the baseline, good pass to Kearney, and he'll lay it in.
I like the driving to the bucket. It opened things up. They get a good, easy shot inside instead of settling for the threes. And they're relatively right back in it, more so than what I thought they would be.
Sam gets the stop, pulls, fires, nope. And the rebound underneath. Back the other way comes Chenault. Well on the baseline. On the lane,
pass.
Good no-look feed. Chenault down low to Kearney. And all of a sudden, Veritas starting to get a little bit of rhythm and offense.
Definitely. They're back to that zone trap.
And Sam basically played defense on himself.
Yes, he did. It made it a lot harder than what it should have been, I think.
So we got a foul on the far side. And Spencer to play it into the backcourt for Ellerby. Tossed through that double team, trying to force it on the near side. It was knocked out of bounds, and the Warriors will get it back.
Trapping on that, and they got a turnover.
Yep, Jasinkowitz put the ball down a little bit. Now we have a whistle and a foul on the other end. That will go on Ellerby, his first, team fourth. Again, Aiden got himself in a little bit of trouble not keeping the ball up.
Yes, he did. There's no reason for that. It should have happened that
way. And he will check out as Sean Andrews back in. Down the lane, good pass underneath, and Andrews will finish. 26-14, 4:35 to go here in the first half. Pull-up jumper on the wing. That's way off the mark from Chapman. And we've got a timeout with 4:29 to go in the half. We'll take a break, come back with more in just a moment. You're watching the NACA. Pass into the post goes right by Sam, although that might have been deflected. Back the other way. Good take to the rim, and laying it in is Chapman.
Thought somebody could have got a charge there very easily for Emmanuel. That looked like some steps there for sure. Yeah.
That got, speaking of drawing charges, I think Darian Spencer got in the lane and realized he was about ready to get a charge.
And wanted it, yeah, definitely. Once again, you see it, Veritas, I think from Virginia, John, kids are required to play with the mask on, which I'm sure could not be fun or easy, but they're doing it because they want to play.
It's hard to communicate, too. The jumper on the baseline will go from Kearney. Back out front to Ellerby, now far side to Spencer. Spencer gets a screen, fires a deep three. That's no good. Rebound, boy, that's a good board underneath by Tyler Murray.
Yeah, I don't understand with the size that Emmanuel has why they will settle for these jumpers first, kick it in first, and then, get freed up more on the kick out.
Sam comes across, picks that off. Andrews out on the break. Down the lane, missed the layup. And Kearney back the other way. He throws it away. Right down the lane, and laying it up and in is Devin Ellerby.
A little sloppy here the last minute or so. Nobody's settling down and running anything.
Kearney, and he traveled. Either travel or jump ball, one or the other.
One of the two.
So Emmanuel gets set to play it in. Ellerby working up against pressure. Back out front. Down the lane. Beautiful pass, and Andrews will lay it in. Good look from Spencer. 30-16 back the other way, and wow. Hamdou got up and blocked that. I think they're going to say that was goaltending, but I'm not
I don't think that
so
was
sure. We'll see if they count this or not. Yeah, they're going to say it was goaltending.
Wow.
That looked pretty good.
I didn't see that.
So to the free throw line goes Tyler Murray. And that free throw off the mark, so they did give him credit for the bucket. Although I tend to agree with Abdu there. I'm not so sure. Out front 3 ball, that's a round and out. And back comes Veritas again, and yeah, that was a turnover waiting to happen there.
Exactly.
And we had a
Push
whistle,
off.
and yes, an offensive foul.
I tell you, the last game I was very entertained by the coach from Wade. I'm even being more entertained by the coach from Veritas this game. Just if you can watch him, it's just a pleasure to watch him get so excited and into this game.
He's very involved. 3 ball out top is good. Triple from Sidney Townsend. That's the first 3 of the game for Veritas.
They've cut it to less than 10 with that, which is
2
great.
minutes to go in the half. Dash. And we have a travel, and back over it goes to Veritas.
As poorly as they started out, to have a chance here, and they will,
and another foul
to cut it down. He's got to be pleased with their comeback they've made here.
So Nagash with his second foul. Team 7th. It's 2 shots anyway, as Charlie Chapman heads to the line. He's 0 for 1 so far in this one from the free throw line. And make it 0 for 2. So 1 out of 2 that trip. Down to 1:40 to go in the half. Just an 8-point game back the other way. That runner misses. And now Veritas on the run again. 3 on 2. 3 ball in the corner, no, out of the hands of Townsend, and it will go out of bounds, be Emmanuel basketball.
You know, once again, John, they've not taken the time and really working the ball inside. Emmanuel has such a size advantage inside. Last couple of times down the trip, nothing but just poor shots, in my opinion.
Well, Abdu Sam has a good 6 to 8 inches height advantage, and they're going to call him for a charge, and again, I'm not so. I think that's more Charlie Chapman just going down. What?
If not, you know, I don't know if I would have called more of a hook than a charge on that, but that's.
At any case, Abdu Sam now has 2 fouls, and if he picks up a third before the break, that could spell big trouble for Emmanuel. Boy, Veritas has really done some work to get back in this game. 3 in the wing, that's no good. Rebound underneath comes to Veritas again. Little turn, and floater is good from Cameron Kearney.
And they've cut this to 6.
Wow.
On a bunch of ill-advised shots by Emmanuel. Finally stopped the bleeding.
David Nagash with the bucket. Make it 32-24. So a delay of game warning. Again, cannot touch the basketball once it goes through the hoop. Next time around, that'll be a technical. And now Townsend off the far side. And Kearney down the lane and scores.
Well, they're very fortunate that the big man has not picked up that third foul. They're going at him the last 2 times down the floor. Not a good pass.
And another turnover. They could get it down to 4. Maybe 3 if this goes in. And a little short. And we got a whistle and a jump ball. And it will be Spartan basketball here with 9.5 seconds to go in the half.
What are the chances of them holding it for 1 here, John?
Fairly low.
They are not wanting to hold that ball. I think they think there's a grenade in it. It's going to go off at any moment, but it would be great if they did. I feel they settled again.
There it was.
Yep.
Down to 4-3, and another shot at the buzzer. No. Veritas had a whole bunch of opportunities to get it even closer. But give them credit, they figured out a way.
They fought back
to start chipping away at that big lead.
And
it's down to 6 here at the break.
We heard their coach say, John, at the end of the first quarter for Emmanuel, keep playing, it's not over. And he was talking to a team that was ahead at that point in time, and really it wasn't, because Veritas came back big time in that
quarter.
And
ahead big. Wasn't it like 14?
It was head down by 14 at the start of the quarter.
Well, now it's down to 6. Your first half totals, first off for Emmanuel, Abdu Sam with 5 points, including 3 of 3 at the line. Devin Ellerby has 3 points. He's 1 of 2 from the stripe. David Nagash and Darian Spencer both with a couple points apiece, as is Aiden Jasinkowicz. Bryson Cottrell had 4 in that first half. Jason Miller with 5, including a 3, and 9 first half points for Sean Andrews. He was 1 of 1 from the line. Emmanuel so far 1 of 7 from 3-point range. For Veritas, Sidney Townsend has 1-3. Tyler Murray with 4 points. He was 2 of 3 from the line. 7 for Charlie Chapman. He was 1 of 3 from the free throw line. 12 points for Cameron Kearney. He's 2 of 2 from the line so far. And Veritas, despite shooting 1 of 12 from 3-point range, is right back in this game.
Wow, it's amazing. But how they get back in it, they kept taking the ball from the bucket, opening up the inside. On the flip side of that, there's Emmanuel doing just the opposite. They started taking some ill-advised stuff instead of pounding the ball inside, which got them the big lead. So it'll be interesting to see what happens second half.
All right, let's give us about 9 minutes. We'll get to the start of half number 2. You are watching the NACA National Tournament.
Here's Randy with college food.
Start of half number 2, 32-26 is the lead for Emmanuel, but that has been shrinking ever since this game started. Started at 14 or so at the end of the first quarter, and it's just continually started to go the opposite direction. Matter of fact, we're down to a 6-point game, and it might be 3. Nope, and a little bit long off the shot of Murray. Another 3's off the mark, and you know, Veritas has shot very poorly from 3-point range for this being a 6-point game. That goes through the hands of Sam and will come back up the floor to Veritas.
You know, spoke to the officials at halftime, and you know, we were all talking about how did Veritas get back in the game by taking the ball to the basket, come out the start second half, 2 quick outside threes. So you forgot what got you back into it. And on the flip, I think Emmanuel forgot what got them the lead. They're not pounding the ball inside whatsoever at this point.
Trap in the corner, but stepping right through that was Murray. Now down the lane, that's blocked by Sam. Back the other way, 3-on-1 break. And tracked down by Cottrell. Inside, Bird goes up and scores.
You know, Bird is not a small individual himself. Pretty good size, wide body there.
Yeah, he's what I would call a big 6'3".
Definitely.
34-26. Little ball fake, and that shot off the mark. And back to the way it comes. They beat everybody down the floor. That won't go, and we will have goaltending.
Yeah.
I think
once
people
again, the shot selection for Emmanuel is just, I don't understand. You know.
No, me either. Like this right here. There you go. Inside a Bird, and that's an easy look.
Definitely. Very good.
36-28. Coming up on 6 minutes to go in the third. Chapman out on the wing. Pull-up jumper from 15. That's way off the mark. Rebound inside. No. And Bird finally collects the board. Bird down the lane, missed the runner, and now odd man rush back the other way. Good look, and the layup is good from Sidney Townsend.
An excellent bounce pass that time. They've cut it to 6. Coming up with that half-court trap again, giving Emmanuel trouble.
And the problem for Emmanuel is they're playing at a pace that doesn't suit them. I mean, they're allowing Veritas to continually speed the game up.
Definitely, and once again, what got them the lead early on, they kept putting the ball inside, and towards the end of the second quarter up until now. We've not seen that until that very last play, guys stepped down. But I keep coming back to also Veritas. I think they were 1 for 12 from behind the three first half.
They're 1 for 14 right now.
1 for 14. Sooner or later, the coaches got to say, guys, you know, we got to stop this. And they stopped it. That's how they got back in the game. We don't need to start it back up. You're going to be right out of the game again. So.
But the pace of this game very much suits Veritas. I mean, this kind of get up and down the floor. They're smaller and they have a ton of speed.
Much faster than Emmanuel, but much smaller than Emmanuel.
That's why you're getting like those kind of shots there. Kearney forcing the issue, and back the other way comes Emmanuel on the run. Out on the wing, Andrews got the defender in the air and just floated it in.
I'll live with that. It's not the best shot I think they could get, but I can live with that. And now they're picking up their defense quite a bit.
On the lane, that's good defense.
That was straight up. He's already in foul trouble.
However, not a good outlet pass.
Poor outlet pass. Very poor outlet pass. Poor shot, or we'll call that a pass.
Now another block shot. And we got a whistle on a travel. Boy, that was disjointed on a whole bunch of levels.
It was hard to call it. It really was. They didn't know what to comment on first. Somebody wants to win this game, I believe. Yeah. But some of the things we're seeing on the floor certainly doesn't reflect that. Another 3.
Well, see, and right there, it goes back to what you're talking about. Abdou Sam had nobody in between him and the hoop.
Nobody.
He could have just gone in and dunked it.
Yeah.
Down the lane, that's blocked, but now Abdou will pick up his...
I believe that's his third.
Foul, yeah. Again, provided that I've copied those down correctly. In some games we have people announcing them, some we don't. This one we don't, so if you don't catch it right away or you think you know who it's on, every now and then I'm 1 or 2 off somewhere along the line, but I do believe he has 3.
And he played a long time with those 2. So I'll be interested to see if they leave him in or they take him out. They've got some decent size over there.
They do.
Without him. And if you're not going to put the ball in his hands on the offensive end of the floor, then maybe you need to pull him out for a little bit.
Well, and you've got some size that can shoot on that bench, too. Jason Miller at 6'5" is a good outside shooter, so, there are options. So the runner goes there from Cottrell. 40-31. Down the lane, and we got a whistle and a foul, and Bird got him with the body.
And there's a lot of Bird to get. There's a lot of body there to put on somebody. I know he didn't mean to, but once you got it going in that direction, I don't think he could stop.
So to the free throw line goes Anthony Chenault. His free throw is good.
They're just hanging around. They are just hanging around.
Second one off the mark. And got another turnover on Emmanuel.
Only 2 fouls called so far this half for both teams combined.
There hasn't really been an opportunity to foul a whole lot because there's been a lot of that going on.
Exactly. When you're 35 feet away from the basket and any defender when you're shooting, there's not a whole lot of that to call.
On the lane, that missed, and there's another foul, and that is actually Bird's probably lucky he didn't get called for a foul the shot before that.
They didn't call it on Bird. I think they called it on 23.
Yes,
right?
Andrews. He has his first.
But how in the world does do they get the offensive rebound with that type of size, all hovering around the basket for Emmanuel? Just a lack of focus there.
Free throw off the mark by Chapman. He'll have another one coming. And here's, speaking of size, sitting on that bench, Aiden Jasinkowicz, the 6'7" senior, checks in. And that rattles off, and that's a solid rebound right there. And the way it comes, layup missed, tipped by Sam, puts it back up and in, and Abdou with his first bucket of the second half, and it's a 10-point lead for Emmanuel. Underneath.
Wow.
Oh, that was a very dangerous pass.
It was.
And what do we have here?
3 seconds, I believe, He made that very dangerous pass, and he stood there, I think, and watched it for quite a while. Had no choice but to call it.
3:07 to go in the third. Here's that trap again, back to the opposite side. Jasinkowicz underneath to Sam.
Veritas in that 2-3.
And take in, that wouldn't go. Sam back up and in. Well, Abdou, I'll give him credit. If they're not going to put the offense through him, he's going to create his own.
Definitely, and he should be that way. He should get 10, 12 points a game just on offensive rebounds alone. He's so much bigger than everybody else.
That's a nice shot. Little pull-up floater from Anthony Chenault. 44-34. Cottrell left it underneath. Sam again. Well, now Abdou has had 6 points in a row. Very easy points, too.
And Veritas in that full court zone press that has not been very effective, and they're getting easy easy buckets on the other end. Emmanuel is because of it.
Well, Townsend finally hits a second three, although that didn't look like it was going to go in. And then back the other end of the floor, Bryson Cottrell. Now back we come the other direction. On the baseline, that's good on the foul. So Sidney Townsend hits a three, comes right back, gets an and one, and see if he can get back-to-back threes.
Well, I was impressed that he did not settle for another three. He head faked and took the ball to the basket. Good things are going to happen when you take that ball to the basket.
I think Eshawn Andrews, I believe that's his second foul. And the free throw good here by Townsend. As Andrews will check out. Darion Spencer back in.
Here we go, full court 1-2-1-1 press from Veritas. They have not been very effective with it. Nice pass.
That is a good look and a nice finish from Jasinkowicz as well. Bryson Cottrell finding him.
Good hands on his part to catch that ball.
50-40. On the baseline, Chapman swinging around. Deep three, that's no good, and the rebound underneath to Spencer. Nice little fadeaway from the wing. And that Devin Ellerby with his second field goal of the game, 52-40.
I think you may see Veritas getting a little tired here. One pass and shot. That one went in, but I don't think that's what you're going to do to get back in this game.
52-43, down to 50 seconds to go in the quarter. Ellerby left it off along the baseline and a travel. And back it goes to Veritas. I mean, at the moment, the Spartans are 3 of 18 from three-point range. And like you said, every now and then one's going to fall regardless, but unless you're really putting together a string, you can use up possessions in a hurry.
Make that 3 for 19. He just
Well, they got bailed out a little bit, though, because
he fell out of bounds, I think. His momentum carried him out of bounds. You know, and John, one of the things that I'm seeing is it would be one thing if it was threes out of a set, kind of like that just happened, but just to come down in one pass and then somebody jack that 30-footer is just, I don't understand.
Well, they've made, like, I think 3 of their last 7 or so, so they're starting to heat up a little bit. The 3-ball in the corner is good by Cottrell. Speaking of not really shooting the ball lights out, Emmanuel's only 2 for 9 from three-point range.
Yeah, definitely. No one is putting on a shooting clinic out here for sure. I would also like to see Veritas get out of this full court and half court trap. It's not doing them. They haven't got anything out of it, and it's really allowing Emmanuel to get some very easy buckets on the other end of the floor.
Deep 3 on the wing. That won't go, and that will do it for the quarter. 55-46. We'll head to the fourth. Emmanuel still with a lead. And we're back in just a minute. You're watching the NACA. fourth quarter. That runner won't go. Back the other way. Emmanuel on the break down the lane, and the reverse won't go. Picked up by Jasinkowicz, and he'll head to the free throw line.
You know, I really like his game. He's not forcing anything. He's solid there. He takes the ball and uses his body. Does the dirty work. Let's see if he can shoot a free throw now.
Jalen Mills with his first. That is just the first team foul this half on Veritas. They did not pick up a single foul in the third quarter. That free throw off the mark. Tyler Murray back in. The second one's good though, so 1 out of 2 that trip.
Now Emmanuel with a little bit of 2-2-1. I think maybe just now the jump trap. Good block.
Pick back up, no from Kearney, and Jasinkowicz. My goodness. He just decided he was going to go get that. Sam back the other way. Out top, wide open 3. That's good. Darian Spencer with a triple.
Starting to open it up now a little bit. Veritas
There's a steal and another bucket for Cottrell.
You might need to see a timeout here from Veritas, I would think, if they don't score here.
And there's a foul in the middle of the floor.
Foolish foul there.
So that goes on Darian Spencer, his first. I believe that's the 6th team foul, so not quite the bonus yet as Sidney Townsend back in. Pass down low, picked off. Back the other way on the run comes Spencer. Left it ahead to Cottrell, and he'll go up and score.
Nice move. If I'm Veritas, I'm getting a timeout here, not jacking a shot. I'm getting a timeout. If we want us to be in this, here comes another wide open break.
And another layup. Ellerby with the bucket.
And it's opened up really quick. Another
turnover. But they turned it right back over. Down the lane, and the dunk for Cameron Kearney, and at least slow it down a little.
Coach from Veritas trying to call a timeout just then, but he did not have the ball. He walked quite a bit before he jacked that shot.
Wow, that was almost tipped in by Abdusam.
Let's see if Veritas calls a timeout now.
On the lane, that's good. Boy, a tough finish, and there it is. So Murray with the bucket, making it 65-50, 6:05 remaining. Back with more in a minute. You're watching the NACA. So under 6 minutes to go. Do we have a foul on this side, or was that just out of bounds? Must have just been out of bounds.
Out of bounds over there. Hard for us to see from our crow's nest here.
Eden Watkins checks in. Down the lane, that's way too easy. Layup for Bryson Cottrell. 67-50.
Emmanuel, little jump, half-court trap.
And another turnover. Out on the break. Wow.
Wow, nice shot.
Devin Ellerby somehow got his body back under control enough to make that. 69-50. Back the other way. That's blocked. And Jasinkowicz trying to clear out, and we have a whistle and a foul underneath.
I tell you, you get past the 6'8" guy on the half court, and you got 6'4" wide body back there. It's pretty much cleaning up every board.
Jasinkowicz swings it over to Sam along the baseline, and we got bucket and the foul. So foul would go on Jalen Mills, and all of a sudden what was a fairly close game is now a 21-point lead.
Yeah, I got away from Veritas very quickly. Coach called timeout, I think a little bit too late on that. And now you're in a 21-point deficit. Chance to get 23-point lead here.
I mean, that's crazy how fast it went from a single-digit game to 22 points.
Definitely. And
runner on the other side won't go, and now pushing it again is Cottrell down the lane, and he'll lay it in.
I think you're obviously seeing some fatigue and frustration set up here on Veritas, and some just helter-skelter basketball. If I am Emmanuel with this type of lead, I may start pulling some starters out just in case of injury and rest for tomorrow night.
I think you're right. I wouldn't be taking too many risks here.
I'm going to be in a 1-and-1 the rest of the game.
I believe Cottrell picked up his third, and to the free throw line goes Tyler Murray. I want to talk about what will shape up to be a very good championship game tomorrow night. That could be a battle for the Division I.
Nice pass.
Good look, and Abdusam with the dunk. That got everybody up. And 76-50. Down the lane, that runner won't go. A tip back in. And still loose. Now back out on the break, down the lane, and another layup.
Yeah, I definitely at this point would be pulling starters out. Frustration fouls from Veritas could become an issue here. It's really cranked up to be 28-point lead. I would start getting some guys out on both sides.
Well, and Veritas has kind of been cycling through a few guys here the last couple minutes.
Emmanuel still with all their starters, or a good number of them still on there.
Spencer let that go, and then back the other way, 2-on-1 break down the lane, and there's another dunk, this time for Charlie Chapman. Back the other way, Abdusam. I think everybody thought he was going to try to dunk that too, but
definitely
out front, that's deflected. This has kind of gotten the sloppy portion of the night.
Definitely.
So back the other way he comes, down the lane, and that laid up and in.
So for both teams that were struggling to score.
Yeah, it's turned into like an NBA All-Star game all of a sudden.
It really has.
Here we go again. Abdusam off the alley-oop, and he'll dunk it with two hands. Well, I mean, everybody's having fun, I guess.
I guess so. Now, if he comes down on that ankle, ain't going to be fun anymore, as my mama used to say.
Well, timeout to Veritas. We'll take one as well. Back with the conclusion here in just a moment. You're watching the NACA. 82-52. 3 minutes left. 3 ball on the wing. That rattles around and off, and we got a whistle and a foul.
You know, John, it got to be 82 really, really quickly.
Yes.
And if I am Wade, who played earlier today, and I got to help call that game, I'm really concerned at how quickly Emmanuel can put points on the board and their size. Wade was outsized today with Knoxville in the other semifinal, but they played very well and very smart. But
it was like they were just waiting for a moment to kind of take advantage of things, and then all of a sudden it was done.
Oh, it did. I mean, it was over quick.
The other way, that deflected, and we have a jump ball.
And I cannot emphasize, you know, as a coach for 34 years, you've got this type of lead. Let's get some of these starters out of the game, not just because somebody could get hurt, but it gets to a point where, you know, start showing a little bit of class. You've got a 30-point lead. Let some of these other guys play. Get some other people in.
So down the lane, Jasinkowicz is wide open and lays it in. By the way, Justice Hardy is in the game for Emmanuel, playing out there at the top of that zone. And this layup goes for Chapman. 84-54, and now here comes some more subs up off the bench.
Definitely.
3 ball on the wing. Good.
Oh,
another triple for Darian Spencer. That's his second 3 of the night. 87-54. On the lane, that runner no good. We got a whistle and a foul. That will be on Jasinkowicz. That'll be his second.
I tell you, I've been really impressed with his play tonight. Just hands straight up, not trying to block shots, just, you know, solid defense, rebounding. He's hit shots when he needed to hit shots. And I think he's the only guy on either team that took a 3.
Yeah, that's true. So here's all the substitutes coming in for Emmanuel. Good to see that for the Warriors. Last 2:07 here. And that free throw good. 87-56. 3 ball in the corner. That's no good. Now back up with it comes Veritas. On the lane. That won't go. Rebound to Bird. Outlet feed. Emmanuel on the run again. Down the lane. That's a nice little ball fake. And then laid up and in by Justice Hardy.
That was a nice ball fake. He was not afraid to take it in either.
Reverse won't go. Rebound to Kearney back up and in. Out front, Nagash double teamed, trying to get rid of it to Bird.
Nice pass.
Jasinkowicz underneath. He'll go up and score.
He knows how to use his body very well inside.
91-58. 3 ball on the wing. That won't go. Rebound to Bird. Now Ellerby. Jasinkowicz. Bird. That's blocked. And now Kearney up with it. 3 ball rattles in and out. 3 ball on the wing. That won't go. There have been a lot of threes shot tonight, especially by Veritas.
I don't know what the gym record is or the high school record. Oh, the big man with a 3.
And he hits.
There you go. And I just said he was the only guy that took a 3.
Well, he did, but he didn't make it,
made me look bad. Yeah, he definitely hit it. He made me look bad.
94-58. 3 on the other side is good.
For the championship game, we would just have each team shoot 10 threes, and whoever hits the most wins the game.
94-61 is going to be the final. And Emmanuel will advance to take on Wade tomorrow night at 9 o'clock for the Division I championship, and that's going to be a fun game.
It is. It definitely is.
That's a couple of teams that can get up and down the floor, and interested to see how that one plays out. Your final totals here, man. You're gonna have to give me a moment on these. There's a lot of scoring in this game. A lot of scoring in this game.
For the sake of everybody involved, we will not do a percentage of 3 points made. Let's just say there was a lot shot and a lot missed.
There are a lot.
Yeah.
So for Veritas, 3 points for Anthony Chenault. He was 1 of 2 from the free throw line. 7 for Tyler Murray, who ended up being 3 of 7 from the free throw line. 13 points for Sidney Townsend. He had 2 3-point field goals, was 1 of 1 from the stripe. 18 points for Cameron Kearney. He ended up 4 for 4 from the line. 20 points for Charlie Chapman. He had 3 3-point field goals, was 1 of 5 from the free throw line. As a team, Veritas was 5 of 28 from 3-point range.
Wow.
That's a lot of threes.
5 for 28, and one of them was hit in the last 15, 20 seconds, I believe.
For Emmanuel, 2 points for Justice Hardy, 4 for Robert Bird, 5 for Jason Miller, including a 3. 11 points for Ashawn Andrews. He was 1 of 1 from the free throw line. 12 points for Aiden Jasinkowicz, including his 3. He was 1 of 2 from the free throw line. 11 points for Devin Ellerby. He was 1 of 2 from the line. 2 points for David Nagash. 10 for Darian Spencer, including 2 3-point field goals. 18 points for Abdu Sam. He was 4 of 4 from the free throw line. 19 points for Bryson Cottrell. He was had 1 3-point field goal as well. Emmanuel finished 5 of 14 from 3-point range.
Not much better on their side, but I'm telling you, 28 threes in a high school game is a lot of threes. And you know what? If that's your style and you hit them, but to shoot that poorly, that is not their style. And they just kept shooting them tonight to their error. They never, when they made their little run to get back, they were taking the ball to the basket. All of a sudden, they just got away from that again.
All right, so Emmanuel will advance to take on Wade tomorrow night at 9 in the Division I championship. We'll go to girls Division 4 up next. 2 more games here tonight. We'll have a girls Division 4 matchup and then a boys Division 3 matchup at 8:30. So we'll take a break, come back with that in just a little bit. You're watching the NACA.